Well, hello everyone, and happy Wednesday. We're live because Carafa said that I needed to do a live stream. So here we go. I just did an unboxing video for a bunch of books from the Red Room featuring the Wretched role-playing games. So today I decided with absolutely no preparation to try to make a character for Wretched Country. Now to do this, I need the basic core book. And maybe I don't need it, but I feel like I need it because I've never read any of these books. So we are literally going to walk through this together with no preparation, Carafa. Do I have enough headroom? I feel like I don't have enough headroom in that shot, Dave.
You have enough headroom.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So the idea is this. I want to make a character for Wretched Country. And Wretched Country has a whole bunch of unique things that are specific to this book, but I need to do basic character creation, which requires the basic Wretched role-playing game book. So we will start with this book. The first few pages are all basic things about what a role-playing game is. Not a big surprise. So the dice, you'll be rolling multiple things. All right, so let's look at designations. So I don't know if you could see on the character sheet, but I'll read through this. We have muscle, which used to be known as strength, but it's muscle now. And that affects your melee and unarmed attack and damage. Brains, which affects your language, formerly intelligence. Wits, which is your magic avoidance rolls, which formerly was wisdom. Agility, ranged attack bonus, and defense. And agility looks like that replaces dexterity. Toughness, which is your health points, and that, where's toughness, is constitution. So far, if you have played any basic role-playing game, you're probably okay with this or familiar with how it would work. Then we have sex appeal, which affects your seduction ability. And that is listed as replacing comeliness. So if you played AD&D, specifically I think towards the tail end of first edition, but definitely second edition, there was an optional ability score called comeliness. It was different from charisma in that it represented more of your like physical beauty, not so much the force of your personality. So charisma was kind of your personality, and comeliness was like your physical attractiveness. I guess in a game with cowboys in a Western, maybe something like that would matter if you integrated that into your game. Hit points is replaced with health points, hit dice is replaced with health dice, morale is replaced with resolve, and class is replaced with occupation. So that all sounds just fine. Okay, so the statistics. How do we actually make a character, Bill? Great question. I've never read these. Choose a deadly sin, roll for a background, roll for attributes. Choose a deadly sin. Okay, so in the Wretched verse, your characters are basically anti-heroes. It doesn't mean that you're a villain, though. I think, like with any game, you could play this how you want. But I think part of the fun of this series of games is that you aren't playing your traditional heroic good guy. You know, in alignment terms with like a D&D reference, maybe it's more like you choose between like neutral or evil, but not so much, you know, good. One sin and one virtue. Okay, so this is where I think I'm going to flip back to this book, the Wretched Country book, because they have their own sins and virtues. So I'm going to look at that book now. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the very beginning that lays out the background for spaghetti westerns, classical American westerns, traditional cowboys. There's a selected filmography, which is really great. New and revised rules, background, origin, and life path. Okay, yeah, so they definitely have like custom origins for the Western genre, which is cool. I'll read these. It includes destitute, roughneck, drifter, swindler, pickpocket, street urchin, mine worker, homesteader, saloon worker, scavenger, claim jumper. Okay. Or a settler, and then you roll on that table, and that tells you the different kinds of settler backgrounds. Boomtown settler, prosperous, aristocratic, elite life path events for Wretched Country. Okay, there's all these cool life path events. So you could randomly generate all this stuff, which I think is pretty cool. All right, then they have their own sins and virtues for a Wild West setting. And I'm going to read this because we're in a live stream and no one's watching anyway. So if you're just tuning in, we're learning how to make characters for Wretched games, specifically Wretched Country. In the realm of tabletop role-playing games, the development of characters is a crucial element in creating an immersive and engaging experience. To offer players and game masters a dynamic and nuanced approach to character alignment, we present the Sins and Virtues alignment adapted from the Wretched transgression mechanics. This system provides an alternative to the traditional alignment system, offering a deeper exploration of character motivations and flaws beyond the dichotomies of good versus evil or chaos versus order. I like that so far. That's actually pretty cool. The Sins and Virtues can also be combined with a traditional alignment system if desired. The Sins and Virtues alignment system revolves around the concept of the 7 deadly sins and the 7 holy virtues, serving as a moral compass guiding each character's actions and decisions. By selecting one sin and one virtue for their character, players are encouraged to delve into the complexities of human nature, creating multi-dimensional personas for their characters. This alignment system aims to enrich role-playing by adding depth and consequences to character choices, fostering engaging storytelling, and inspiring creative outcomes. As characters embrace their chosen sin or virtue, they must grapple with the inherent boons and banes associated with their alignment. This duality reflects the reality that both positive and negative traits can lead to compelling narratives, and even the most virtuous characters may face challenges stemming from their moral compass. I love that. That's awesome. In my own game system, the Bill Allan mechanical system, which I created for my 3 games at this point, I don't use alignment. I have principles. So it's a little different, but conceptually, the idea is that it allows or it fosters more guidelines for how a player can play their character more effectively. And it sounds like this offers similar benefits. Different ways to use sins and virtues. The Sins and Virtues alignment system offers flexibility and adaptability to suit various role-playing scenarios and campaign styles in the Wild West. Here are 4 different ways to use the system. Anti-heroes. Choose one sin. In darker and grittier country settings akin to the Wretched RPG game line, characters are portrayed as anti-heroes. In this case, players choose only one sin to define their character's motivations and flaws. Then you have heroes, so you choose one virtue. Similar. Nuanced, you choose one sin and one virtue. I feel like that's my go-to. To have that balance in a character, I think is good. Then we have deadly sins, aka transgressions. To begin, choose one of the 7 deadly sins that best represents your character. When a character indulges in a vice related to his or her primary transgression and it causes trouble for the party, the game master should reward them with a wild die for cinematic moments. That's awesome. I really do enjoy... I like when role-playing your character well is rewarded. I don't think that it makes a lot of sense or it's very helpful to penalize someone when they don't play well, when they don't role play well, but rewarding them for playing well I think is good. And I remember this mechanic coming into play in the early 90s with White Wolf's games like Vampire and Mage and Werewolf. That quality role playing should be rewarded. So that's pretty cool. I'm curious about what this wild die factors is. So this mechanic is particularly suitable for genres like horror, thriller, exploitation, and hard sci-fi. For fantasy, urban fantasy, or pulp, consider increasing the bonus to a number of free wild dice equal to the character's level. Optionally, the game master may choose blah, 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 blah. Each transgression comes with a sinner's bane, a constant drawback for the penalty, and an optional sinner's boon. All right, so we have wrath, greed, sloth, pride, lust, envy, gluttony. Okay, so there's 7. I have no concept for this character, guys. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna roll. I'm gonna roll. And I'm going to put this here so everybody can see my dumb roll. Boo-ba-doo-boo-boo. And because no one's watching, oh, I rolled an 8, which there's only 7. So let's roll again. 2. I have a 2. A 2. So let's see what that means. So wrath was the first one. Greed is the second one. So greed is my sin. I'll read greed since that's what I rolled. Your character is consumed by an insatiable desire for material possessions, wealth, and power. The obsession with acquiring more can lead down a path of corruption where they may exploit others or resort to extreme measures to fulfill their desires. The allure of riches may blind them to the consequences of their actions. So this is already building up to be a murder hobo. Sinner's Bane. Every time someone tries to bribe your character or presents them with an enticing offer, you must roll under your wits to resist the temptation. Sinner's Boon. Whenever you're engaged in acquiring wealth or material possessions, you receive a +1 bonus to a related roll. Now that's listed as optional, which is curious. I don't see a place on the character sheet for writing that in. But as always, I'm prepared to have notes. So I don't know if that would fall into background, but there's a box here on the second page of the character sheet for background. So maybe I'll write that in. So I'll write greed. Tries to bribe your character. Bribes or enticements roll under wits to resist. Roll under wits to resist. Okay, cool. And I'm not going to write in that Sinner's Boon because it's optional. So let's go to the 7 virtues. Same thing. We're going to roll a d8 and see what we get. A 3. A 3. Temperance, diligence, patience. Oh, so I'm a patient greedy person. Patience represents your character's tranquil disposition and their ability to withstand hardships while maintaining a level head. Patience fosters wise decisions and robust relationships, but can generate conflict when others demand immediate action. This character could be very annoying. All right, so back on my first page of my character sheet, I'm going to write in greed/patience. Maybe he's like an old guy and he just doesn't make quick decisions or quick moves. All right, Virtue's Bane. In situations requiring an emotional response or swift action, you must roll under your wits to suppress your innate patience. All right, that's funny. That's funny. You should have fun making characters in any game, and this so far is pretty good. In situations requiring emotion or swift action, roll under wits. So it looks like wits is kind of important so far. To suppress innate patience. Okay, cool. Good, good, good. I dig it. I dig it. All right, so here we are. This game is what we're learning how to make characters for. So back to the main book. I kind of wish that I had read this first, but you know, this is actually, maybe it's good because it shows, like, literally I've not prepped for this at all. So if I can go through this process during a live stream and not totally F it up, then maybe you can too. Okay, so I chose a sin and a virtue. That was step one. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay, main book. What's next? Step 2, background, origin, and life path. In step 2, you roll for an origin and for past events on your character's life path. The players roll once for their character's origin and 1d3 times on a life path table. Origins may be the character's own past, profession, or their parents' tutor's career instead. It's up to each player to decide the exact meaning of their origin. Each life path table will depend on whether the gaming group is playing blah 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 games. Okay. Oh, I see. So the origins are all the same no matter what game you're playing, but then you roll on the life path. Roll 1d3 times. Okay. I think I got that. All right, so I'm going to put the main book down, and I'm going to go to... So I'm going to roll my origin. So this is kind of important because it looks like it determines like some skills and some other things. There we go. A 2. What the hell is that? All right, so settler. Okay, settler. Where do I write that down? I guess under occupation. Yeah. Maybe? I don't know. All right, occupation, settler. It's my background though, right? Background, origin. You know what, I'm gonna write it down in my other notes too. Settler. And then it says I roll 1d3 times on this life path table. So I'm going to roll this. I got a 1, so I get 1 roll. Ah, that blows. I guess I could cheat, but I don't like cheating, as you all well know. All right, so I got 1 roll on the settler table. And the options are charlatan, brawler, card shark, ranch hand, shopkeeper, widowed mother, father, veteran soldier, artist, blacksmith, and market trader. Here goes. Krafa, can you see my... Okay. 8. Artist. This is so dumb. Artist. Fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe archetype is settler and occupation is artist. Whatever, I'll figure it out later. All right, so artist gives me a +1 to art and persuasion. Art is not even listed as a skill. Oh, there it is. So I got a +1 to that. And persuasion, where's persuasion? Persuasion +1 to that. Okay, and then settler, comma, artist. So I am a greedy but patient settler artist. What the hell? All right, fantastic. That's great. All right, your starting wealth is reduced by 25%. And it says +2 to wits. +2 to wits. I'm just going to write a little note in on the character sheet, +2, because I don't know how to do my wits, because I'm dumb and I didn't read this book. All right, so we have, that was step 2. Oh, so in the main book, there's different life paths. But I rolled on the country table. Oh, Wretched Country. roll 1d20. 1d20 for Wretched Country. I got a 20, you guys. Look at that. What does it mean? Had an eventful life, roll twice on this table. Oh, cool. Another 20. Dude, what is going on, Carafa? I'm glad we're live streaming this. This dice is on fire. All right, it said to roll twice, so I'm going to roll 2 dice. A 3 and another effing 20. What is even happening right now? 3 and an 18. Okay, so 3 and an 18. So these are my life path things. I guess I'll write that in my... Joined a group of outlaws and learned how to survive on the run. Life paths. Joined outlaws. Add the drawback wanted and the skill stealth at +2. Add wanted, drawback, and +2 stealth. Okay, and then the other thing I got was an 18. So I had a 3 and an 18. So an 18 is you were a railroad worker and lived through the dangers of building a new nation. Add the skill engineering at +2 and the drawback poor. Awesome. Railroad worker. Add poor, drawback, and +2 engineering. Well, that is pretty interesting. Now, because I haven't read through this game and have never played, I played one session of Wretched New Flesh at VentureCon last year, but I have no idea if I'm actually doing this right. So there you have it. All right, roll for attributes. This is step 3. How do I roll? Roll 4d6. Oh, I see. Cannon fodder mode. You roll 3d6 in order for each attribute, and you can't choose where to place them. Safety net mode is you roll 4d6 and ignore the lowest one. Veteran mode is if you want to play veteran characters, advance your newly created character to 5th or 7th level if the game master allows it. No, we'll just do the usual. We'll just do the... I don't have enough 6-siders though. All right, so here's what we'll do. I'll just write down what I'm getting as I'm rolling it. So I have 2, 5, 1, 2. So that's a 9. Just gonna write it down here. 9, 3, 4, 5, 3. Oy vey, this character is gonna have a rough time. 6, 4, 5. Okay, it's not bad. 15. And hey, that's wits. 6, 2, 6. Okay, 14. How many stats are there in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 7. 2, 3, 3, 2. Quack, quack. 8. I am not tough. 6, 2, 4, 12. And the last one, my sex appeal. That's my second highest roll, 14. All right, so in order. If I do this in order, this character is going to be even more interesting. I don't even know how I'm going to put all this together. This is going to be a challenge. 9, 12, 15, 14, 8, 12, 14. Let me just copy that down. 9, 12, 15, 14, 8, 12, 14. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. So my worst attributes are my muscle and toughness, which are probably important in a game about surviving. I mean, it looks like I have a decent agility of 14. My sex appeal is 14. My wits is 15. Now I think I get that +2, so I think my wits is 17 maybe? I think so. All right, so then the so this would actually be 17. So I'm gonna write this down, 9, 12, 15, 14, 8. Oh, that toughness of 8 is rough. Okay, so then my actual score for wits is 17. So maybe that's good. I don't know how much wits comes up. Magic avoidance. Well, what if I'm not dealing with magic? Is wits useful for, I guess it's useful for resisting my different temptations. All right, so the modifiers in this game are kind of like OSR modifiers, so it goes -3 up to +3 at the max. So a 9 through 12 is a 0 modifier. 0. 0. That blows. 17 is a +2. Yay. 14 is a +1. Yay. 8 is a -1. Ouch. 12 is a 0. And 14 is a +1. Okay, there we go. I have ability scores. I rolled for them. My health. Toughness score determines the starting number of health points. Ooh, bro. Yikes. That is so hard. So hardcore. Okay. Oh, they have a bunch of like races and stuff if you're playing games that have other races, like the sci-fi and fantasy and World of Darkness-ish kinds of ones that... Okay, so let me look this up. Back to the country book. And if you have any questions or comments, you can put those in the super chat. I don't know if I mentioned that, but today I'm doing a brand new run through on this game to see if I can learn how to make a character with no preparation whatsoever, Dave. All right, so this says my starting wealth is reduced by 25%. I don't really know why that's significant. So, oh well. All right, I did that. I did sins and virtues. What else do I need to do to make a character? Occupations, revised occupations. Okay, so my occupation isn't settler. I don't know. I'm going to put settler up in race. I couldn't find a character sheet for Wretched Country, but maybe there is one that has the correct things. Okay, so I don't know if I choose an occupation or if I have to roll. Let me look in the main book. Occupation defines generic aspects of a character, such as the number of experience points required to upgrade the character, blah, 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 blah. Here's a list of samples. Do I pick it or roll, dude? Okay, I guess I get to pick it. All right, so that's that. Let's look back at the wretched occupations. So they do have assassin. They have gunslinger. That's an archetype. Oh. Assassin is the occupation. Archetype is gunslinger. So I had settler artist down as my background and life path. That doesn't go in there. So there's actually occupation and archetype. That's why we use pencils, kids. All right, do I want to be an assassin? I don't really have a great agility. My highest attribute is wits, so maybe not. Common citizen. Common citizen is, if using common citizen as an upgradable occupation, you can use the following Wild West archetypes. Frontiersman? No. Rancher? No. Saloon owner? Oh. Maybe. Okay, man of action is another occupation. Mysterious stranger is the archetype. You are an outsider who arrives in town with an air of intrigue and enigma. Your past is shrouded in secrecy and your motives are unknown. You possess a unique set of skills and a quiet determination that sets you apart from the rest. People are drawn to you and wary of your presence. Choose a free perk from ambidextrous, danger sense, fearless, high pain, threshold, invisible, night vision. What? Unique feat, veiled presence, +2 to all rolls related to deception, disguise, and leaving a lasting impression without revealing your true identity. Interesting. I'll come back to that. Rogue is another occupation, criminal mastermind archetype, or gambler archetype. What does gambling involve, though? Does it involve wits? I don't know how this game works. Scout, reckless outlaw, investigator, lawman, performer is an occupation with harlot as an archetype. I could make a man whore. Scholar, witch doctor, ritualistic shaman. I see. Okay, I think I'm gonna refer back to the main book for a second, Krafa, because I'm not 100 on my understanding of what this system is and how it works. Common citizen table. Conjurer. So wits is definitely valuable for magic avoidance, but I don't know if it's what's used for magical casting. And I don't really know if I want to play a magic person. Investigator determined by wits. Oh. So brains. Oh, wits determines starting bonus skills. Yes. Hey, Miguel and Sylvia. I did not read these books at all. I just sat down and decided to do a live stream to figure out how to make a character for Wretched Country. And so far, Krafa, cut to my side shot. So far, I've figured out how to do some of the things, but now I'm trying to figure out how the rest of it works. So I'm going to pick an occupation and an archetype, and I have high wits of 17 and a decent agility and not a lot of other great things, and decent sex appeal. So I'm trying to figure out, when I pick my occupation and archetype, I'm back on this book, on the Wretched Country book. So I was thinking maybe some kind of investigator or criminal mastermind. Gambler. Okay, maybe that's the move. Maybe I What is wits used for primarily? That's my question. What is wits used for primarily in Wretched Country? Now we're into the magic table. So that is the question. Choice of free perks. Unique feats. Oh, I could totally make Al Swearingen with this set of roles. I can make, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a saloon owner. That's my choice. Occupation. Common citizen. Archetype, saloon owner. Okay. That's totally what I'm making. But he won't really be Elsewherean, but it's kind of a good, cool thing. Choice of free perks. Allies, commanding presence, contacts, guileful, polyglot, or wealthy. Ooh, I like guileful. I don't know what it does, but I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look up guileful. I'm assuming that these are all in the main book, so I'm going to go find them in the main book. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Bum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Bum-bum-bum. Where are the perks? There we go. Perks and drawbacks. Let me see what Guileful says. Full of guile, I'm assuming? The character has clever ways to achieve his or her aims by using deceitful methods and treachery, +2 bonus to carousing, charm, and persuasion. That would be dope, because I already have a +1 to persuasion, so maybe I'd have more. That's my jam. I'm going to pick Guileful. Guileful is my perk. I don't know what I'm supposed to put in there, but that's okay. All right, so that gives me, Guileful gives me a +2 bonus to carousing. +2. And +2 to charm. That's all good. And then a +2 to persuasion on top of my +1, so I have another +2, so that's +3 total. So occupation, common citizen, archetyped saloon owner. That's my jam. That's what I have chosen. Back to the country book. Okay, so I have picked that thing. Now what else do I need to do? Skills. Not magic. Pistol duels. And this is all like world stuff, I think. Okay, main book. How do I do the things that I need to do specifically? All right, so as a common citizen, I have +1 bonus skill and 2 skills. Okay, well, I got skills already. So, guess that's done. Now, how do I actually flesh out the rest of this character? That's the question. Skills. Using skills. Unlike basic attributes, which are innate, skills are aptitudes your character has learned or is trained to do. When a character attempts to do a task covered by a skill, the player should roll a d20 against a difficulty determined by the Game Master. Rolls are modified by a skill level and the one attribute's modifier. The result is then compared to the target number. Okay. Each skill point buys a new skill or a new level for the same skill. Attribute scores and the character's occupation modify the number of starting skill points. Further points are accumulated when leveling up based on the character's occupation. All skills can be upgraded to level 5. Skills aren't necessarily tied to a specific attribute. Okay. Even though some pairings are more frequent than others. Okay, so the Red Room says that wits is used a lot for resisting fear and being influenced either by magical means or others. Okay, cool, good to know. Untrained skill use. Characters can attempt to use most skills even if they haven't been trained in them. Basic skills. Mental skills. So I have skill in engineering. Okay. Physical skills. Social skills. Carousing. Persuasion. Good. Oh, wits modifies persuasion rolls. See, so my high wits is going to be awesome. So when I want to do a wits thing, I have a +2 to my ability score for wits, and then I have a +3 to my persuasion. So I would add a total of +5 to my roll for wits. So let's see if I could persuade something to do something. Yay, 14 + 5 is 19. That's probably going to be successful. All right, that's pretty straightforward. I guess what I don't know yet is how do I flesh out the rest of my stuff. So I have a drawback. I have the wanted drawback. And I have the poor drawback. Those are from my choices. So I'm poor and wanted, but I'm also a saloon owner. This will be interesting, Dave. Okay, so poor. The poor, wait, where is poor? Okay, so I have guileful already. That's what gave me a +2 to carousing, charm, and persuasion. But I have the drawback of poor and the drawback of wanted because I rolled on that. So poor is the character earns much less than what he or she should according to background and professions. After paying bills and buying the bare essentials, nothing is left. Poor characters have a -3 penalty to all acquisition rolls. Oof. That's rough. I don't see acquisition on the skills. I don't know what that means. So I'll just write down -3 to acquisition. Okay, and then wanted. Wanted characters have a price on their head and are hunted by law enforcement, criminal enforcers, and or bounty hunters. Begin play at wanted level 3. Okay, I'm just going to write down wanted level 3 somewhere. Wanted level 3. Okay. Still not really sure if that's it. I'm not sure if I finished character creation. Because I think in the main book there was like 9 steps. So let's go back and look at the 9 steps for what I need to do to create a character. So I selected my character occupation and archetype, then select skills. So I didn't select skills. How do I select skills? So that should be step 7. Do. Step 7, select skills. All right, there's the skill list. Oh, it's tied to my class or to my occupation, I guess. Okay, so common citizen. I see. Starting bonus skills determined by none. Optionally, you can accept common citizen as regular occupation. Bonus skills, player's choice, GM's approval. Skill set, persuasion, acting, streetwise, seduction, carousing, leadership. Unique feat, extra wild die. Or unique feat, extra wild die. Accidental hero, outsider. Okay, so those are all main game things, but I already have my archetype of saloon owner. So I just need to know what skills I get. So I get two skills to start with, and I get to pick from persuasion, which I already have, acting, streetwise, seduction, carousing, and leadership. So I already have persuasion. I already have carousing. I have charm. I have art. Oh wait, somewhere I had engineering too. What was engineering from? Oh, from my railroad worker thing. Did I not write down engineering? No, I didn't. +2. Okay, so I guess I just picked two skills that I don't have. So acting and streetwise. Or, yeah, I guess I'll go acting and streetwise. So +1 there and +1 there. That's it. I guess. Don't know. Maybe I'm playing it wrong. Okay, so that was the second to last step in making my character, I think. Select perks and drawbacks. I already did that, so I have the perk of Guileful, which gave me... What did that give me? Oh, gave me like the bonuses, the +2s on those social skills. And then my 2 drawbacks, so I have that. Select gear and equipment. Oh. But how much gear and equipment do I get? And how do I know how much money I get for my gear and equipment? Let's see. Maybe this will show me the way. Select perks and drawbacks. Did that. Select equipment. Rules of acquisition. Oh! I get boned to acquisition rolls because I'm poor. That's where this is going to hit me. Rather than rolling starting money, gold, or credits, the Wretched Verse uses an acquisition roll to determine whether or not a character can purchase an item. When a character seeks to buy something, the GM should assign a TN to each item or service. So I roll a d20 and I add my acquisition bonus. I have a -3. If the total number rolled is equal to or greater than the target number, the character can purchase the item. Oy vey. So my origin bonus, I am at -2, and then I have -3, so I'm at a -5 to roll to acquire things. Oh no, that is so rough. Okay, now I understand. So it's almost like you're playing the game to acquire. You don't just go you don't just go to a store to acquire your gear. But they have a whole list of stuff in the main book, like a huge list of stuff. Your occupation does determine the number of starting skills. Okay, yeah, so I saw that I have 2 to begin with as a common citizen. All right, wow, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff in this main book. All right, so let me see if Wretched Country has specific, I'm sure it does, have specific things for me to look at for my equipment. There's magic, but that doesn't apply to me. Oh, there's a carousing table. So when I use my carousing skill, I can carouse. Roll d20. The carousing activity leads to trouble. Your carousing activity is uneventful. Carousing provides minor benefits. Carousing provides significant benefits. Okay, cool. And then you add your modifier in. Oh, here. So let's do a sample carousing roll. So let's say I'm trying to carouse someone to get information for something. I would roll, I got a 6, but then I add my carousing bonus in, which is an 8. So on a result on this table, your carousing activity is uneventful. All right, then I try again, and I rolled an 18 plus 2 is 20. Carousing provides significant benefits. Roll a d6. 6. You gain an introduction to a significant criminal gain or a wealthy cattle baron. Fantastic. Okay, gambling. There's all sorts of cool charts here for carousing, for gambling. Modifiers to the gambling roll may include, yeah, Wild West wanted levels. All right, so I start off as wanted 3 because that was one of my drawbacks. Wanted 3 means the party is well known around the town and they are not welcomed by most households and businessmen. Bounty of $500. Imagine starting off the game with that level of... That's funny. That is funny. I like all these custom tables. Like for the players, I think it's fun. For the DM, it's going to be fun. GM, it's going to be fun because then, you know, these random events happen and the GM can just like make things up as they're going along. Revised perks. Nerves of Steel, Trigger Happy, Fumbling Hands, Gunslinger, Pistol Duel revised. Oh, okay. So here's some new rules for specifically for pistol fighting and pistol duels in Wretched Country. So you have a dueling table. Initiation. So you have the quick draw, you have the shots fired, and then the other results. And then you roll on the table and add in your modifiers. Cool. STDs in the Wild West. That's awesome. Great background information. Rules for STDs. Onset of STDs. Treatment. Secrets of the Scorched Earth in the Desolate West and Outlaw Prophecy foretells of a deadly reckoning. Okay, so you got some adversaries in here. So a lot of this book also just has GM stuff in it. A lot of helpful content. Wages and gear. Okay, men's overcoats. Yeah, this is cool. So I have a lot of this kind of historical context stuff in my Western game. But this is a great resource too. That's really cool. Timeline, good. Factions. And then some adventures. Road encounters, prospecting, mountain encounters, cavern encounters, awesome. Encounters in the cards. Oh, so you got some in here for pulling cards, like little mini scenarios and story threads. That's great. And Wild West slang. Good job, The Red Room. I dig it. This book is full of cool stuff. All right, so now I just need to buy crap for my character. What would my saloon owner have? Let's see. So there's prices for all of these things. Okay, back to the main book regarding acquisition of equipment. Acquisition is basically a way of not having to worry about accounting for money. Okay, well, that's kind of an interesting idea. I think in like the White Wolf games, Carafa, they had like your resources as a background, and that just determined your general like levels of wealth. And if you were at a certain level of resources, you could just like get things. It was purposefully vague. So, but mechanically in this game, I'm supposed to have a -3 to my acquisition rolls. which is just, ouch, painful. So let's see, what could we do here? Because I have the poor drawback and the wanted drawback, I'm a poor wanted saloon keeper. Okay, I'm going to say that I want to get a Colt 1873 45 Peacemaker. I rolled a 6, minus 3 is 3. I don't get my gun. I want a set of decent clothing. Rolled a 13, minus 3 is 10, so I get clothing. I want a 30 caliber, a 22 caliber Derringer that I could have up my sleeve for a quick draw. 16 minus 3 is 13, so I get it. 22 Derringer. All right, I should probably have a buck knife or a Bowie knife because in case I get into a fight. And that is definitely not going to happen, but I'm writing it down anyway. Okay, so let's assume I have a bunch of clothes and crap and adventuring equipment. And I picked my skills. I have all the basic skills. I have my modifiers. I don't know what my defense or agility bonus or armor bonus is. I'll have to look that up. And what's on page 2? Magic, psychic talents, and rituals and spells. I'm not going to have any magic yet. And maybe I'll figure out how magic works. But because I think my character would be good at magic because he has a 17 for wits. So, but not going to worry about that. Okay, so how do I calculate my defense? Experience points. Okay. That's interesting. Wanted level, notoriety. Oh, wild dice. I was going to read about that because I get a bonus to wild dice. The game master has a number of wild dice equal to the number of players at the table at the game session. Each player has one wild die, a 6-sided die that can be differentiated by its color or pattern per game. At certain cinematic moments, either the GM or the player can use a wild die to modify a roll. The player or GM rolls a d6. If the result is odd, that number is added as a penalty. If it's even, it's added as a bonus. Ha! That's cool. Wild die! Nice. Then you have Wretched Pool. Wretched behavior is already rewarded by experience points, but those narcissistic actions could have further effects. That's where the Wretched Pool comes in. This is a pool of points earned by anti-heroic, sometimes even villainous behavior, and that can later be traded in for bonuses to rolls, thus improving chances of character survival. Each point in the pool can be traded for a +1 in a roll, and it can be used in the same gaming session or saved to be spent in the next one if the game master allows. The Wretched Pool is optional. If you are running a fantasy or space opera campaign, it makes sense to use it. However, in a horror or hard sci-fi campaign, it probably doesn't. Here are some examples of actions and the number of points awarded. Using dirty tricks in a fight, +1 wretched point. Using dirty tricks to disable an opponent, +2 wretched points. Using dirty tricks to kill an opponent, +3. Outwitting someone by lying. Cheating in games of chance, fooling an NPC in a business deal, fooling a contact or ally in a business deal, fooling another player, backstabbing a trusted ally, cowardly leaving a comrade behind, tampering with someone's mind. Excellent. Those are interesting optional rules to add. Exploding damage dice. Ooh. Let's say your weapon deals 2d6 damage, meaning you roll 2 6-sided dice and add them together. You roll 2d6 and get a 4 and a 6. Since you rolled a 6, which is the highest number on a d6, you get to re-roll another 6 and add it. Wow. I like exploding dice mechanics. That's cool. I'm glad that you integrated that. Oh, here's a little bit about combat. Roll for surprise, roll for initiative, resolve the phase, avoidance phase, movement, ranged attacks, magic, psychic attack phase, melee attack phase, end of round. Cool, 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 cool. Damage wild dice, sword duels, all sorts of specific tables for those things. Ranged combat to roll where a specific wound hits for critical hits. We all like a good critical hit table. And there's a table for unarmed combat, for blunt damage, for blade, for firearm. Ooh, critical hits. Fire damage, corrosive damage, called shot critical hits. Nice. Man, that's awesome. And then vehicle combat. Nice. The whole list of vehicles. Healing damage. Carousing, gambling, all that stuff. Fear and insanity. Lots of elements in this game system, which I'm sure is probably helpful with the different genres that this game has. A lot of stuff with magic too, and psychic talents. Cool. Building your own settlement. Oh. Pretty cool. All right, I think other than like naming my character, I'm pretty good. So I think that this little impromptu, totally impromptu. I did not read these books prior to starting this live stream, just to be clear. So starting to learn about this game, and my interest was just drawn to Wretched Country because it's a Western genre, and I've been into that stuff recently, so this is cool. And I have a settler who is a common citizen and a saloon owner. His sin is greed. His virtue is patience. There are perks and drawbacks to all of those things. And yeah, I think I got everything down. So I'm more or less ready to play this game. So maybe what we'll do is do some pre-gens, and then I'll run a sample game to see if I could wrap my head around how this game works. I think that might be the move, is just we'll do some pre-gen characters, and then I could run a solo one-shot for Wretched Country to see, how people do with it, and see if they like the game, what their experience is. Best way to learn is to play. So anyway, that's it for this live stream, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and if you're watching this later, this was a live stream focusing on the Wretched games, specifically Wretched Country by The Red Room. If you're interested in old school style role-playing, but with new mechanics and innovative approaches to different genres of games, The Red Room has a huge catalog of things. And by the way, they did not sponsor this video or any of my other videos. I just was interested in their stuff, and they sent me books to check out. So thank you to The Red Room. And thank you to all of you who watched or are later watching this video. Until we see each other again, may the dice gods always roll in your favor. Peace out.